What I'd like to cover in this video is a really easy way of batch plotting in AutoCAD. It takes a little bit of time to set up, but once you get it set up, it's a really great tool when you need to create multi-page PDFs and you need to send multiple drawings to print at once. And so this is done through creating what's called a sheet set. So I'm going to type in the command sheet set. Okay, and what comes up is this sheet set manager, and what we want to do is we want to create a new sheet set. So I'm going to go up above and go to new sheet set, and I'm going to create a sheet set using existing drawings. These are drawings that I already have defined in my work. So I'm going to click on next. I'm going to name it something that I can remember. So let's just say MK sheet set. Usually I try to name it as per project, and then what I do is down where you save it, okay, it's going to save it as a DST file. Typically I'll have a folder within my project which will have my sheet sets. Okay, so then I can hit next, and usually what I do is I add my sheets after the fact. Okay, so I'm just going to hit next and then finish. Okay, and what's going to happen is now this is my sheet set that's newly created, and what I need to do is I need to add sheets to it. So if I go into my sheet set manager and I click on my sheet set, if I right click, I'm going to go to import layout as sheets. Okay, so what this does is allows me to browse for the drawings that I want to add to my sheet set manager. So let's say I'm going to just add these sheets that are already set up with my title block and everything. Click on open. And what AutoCAD is doing is it's loading in the sheets and the layouts that are associated with each file. So every layout that comes in is going to be defined in our sheet file. Okay, so we can have multiple tabs in Paperspace. Each one of those layouts will come in, and so what we need to do is after we create and populate this list, we might need to delete some of these sheets out. So the other thing to note is that it says, status warning, this layout might belong to another sheet set. You can't have the same sheet belong to multiple sheet sets. Okay, that's another caveat of this tool. So what I want to do next is, if this all looks good, okay, and as long as it's checked, it should import. I'm going to import the checked sheets. And now those sheets that can come in are going to be loaded into my sheet set. And I can always, right click on them, remove them, add a new sheet if I want to import a new sheet. Okay, if I need to add any sheets, I can right click on the on a file in the list, and I go to import layout as sheet, browse for the drawing that I want to add, and again go through this process, go to import checked, it'll add it to my list. I can delete any sheets by saying remove sheet, hit OK, and I can also move them around and order them because this is the order in which they'll print. Now to print from my sheet set, if I right click on this again, there are publish options. Okay, there's publish to DWF, DWFX, PDF, etc., etc. But what I want to do is I want to create my own page setups. Okay, and just because I want to have full control over this. So to do that, I go into manage page setups, okay, and I'm going to create a new page setup. So again, I'm going to name it something that I'm going to understand, and that I can easily find again. So I might say, again, MK ARC D, which is 24 by 36 PDF, and hit OK. And then it's going to bring me to a dialog that's much like the printing dialog. I mean, it's essentially the same thing. So here I'm going to define my printer, okay, or my plotter. I'm going to define my paper size, which is ArcD in this case. And usually what I plot is I plot to extents, and that just maintains that I'm getting everything within my file. Now, because of that, I am very, 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 very careful about not having any information floating outside of my title block and my sheets. Okay, or else what is going to happen is it's going to have that defining the extents, and then that's going to actually shrink down the print. Then I always make sure that my center of the plot is checked, that my scale is 1:1 to make sure that it's full scale. Okay, landscape, and then I'm going to make sure that I use my CTB file. Okay, so I'm going to point it to the CTB file that I've been using, and then I hit OK and close. So that now, if I'm printing, if I print one, okay, I can go to publish, publish using page setup override. I can choose the one that I just created, or I can select one file name, hold down Shift, select all of them, right click, publish, publish using page setup override, and then to the page setup that I defined. Now what it's going to do is it's going to go through the process of printing, but while you're doing that, you can actually work on the sheets. So it's going to tell me that my publishing job is processing in the background, and during that time, I can open up any of these sheets and I can work on them. It's going to print whatever is the most currently saved version of it. Okay, so if I'm making changes, it might not get those, okay, unless I somehow tend to save it before it prints it. Okay, it's also a nice way of scrolling through your drawings and being able to open them up too as well, in order to do a little bit of a double check to see what's on these sheets. As I said, I can continue to work on these drawings as much as I need to. Okay, so if I click on this table, you can see that it's fully editable. So I can add information as I need to. I can continue to work on the file. And it's still plotting. And I can move my mouse down over to the plotter and it'll tell me where its status is. Right now it's layout 2 of 6. So it's printing in the background and I can continue to work on this file. So after some time, AutoCAD is asking me where to save my file. And I'm just going to save it somewhere where I can remember it and give it a name that I can remember. And then if I go to find that file, okay, you can see that now it's plotted multiple sheets to one file.